if did that throw you all off? Or, I mean, what was your mindset when first game of the season, and you're like, oh my gosh, we'll get there in time. What's going on? What was your mindset?
I mean, it was crazy, but I mean we stressed to everybody, just stay calm, don't let this bother you. We got up here and we kind of hung out for a while, and by the time we got there, and I mean, we were still focused. We made sure we stayed focused and didn't worry too much about it. We were worried about playing Richlands, not about getting the bus. I mean, none of that stuff.
Coach, one thing I noticed looking at the stats, I appreciate you supplying us with the official one. My stat keeping got a little sloppy there in the second half. I don't know, somebody kept high-fiving me, and somebody else was screaming in my ear. And
some of them got wrote on the side of the press box. And yeah, you'll have to take a look at the notes. But anyway.
But in all seriousness, it looks like just a rough estimate. The whole team came in somewhere around 300 yards rushing. Dondre, you had 110 of that. But then what really stands out to me, Luke had 93 yards of passing, and then Jenkins had 77 yards of total receiving yards. To me, that's a pretty fair mixture, with a little bit heavy on the rush, which I always like seeing. Are you all looking to kind of keep that percentage going against Abingdon, or don't want to give too much away?
Hopefully there's no Falcons listening in tonight, but, Coach Reed does an excellent job of, establishing plays to set up other plays. And that's what he stresses Monday through Thursday is, we got to establish this play, and this is what we got coming back off of it, and this is what we got coming back off of that, and then we're going to hit you with a pass when you start pulling up, we're going to hit you deep. One thing I'd love to give credit for, and for Coach Reed is after an injury, I think it was on Carson's touchdown, was right after the injury, we came right out, hit them deep. And that's one thing I love. You get that change of tempo, you get that change of pace, you got to attack. So,
well, when you're able to establish a rush like that, that really does open up all kinds of passing lanes.
Absolutely.
And it was a great, and we mentioned it was a great game plan because no one could key in. DeAndre had 8 carries. You had Calhoun had 13. Thomason had 8. Roten had 7. Reed had 6. So they couldn't really key on anybody. Which, and again, they dared you all to go deep, and you did because they went man up on the outside.
And then as soon as they did, Dondre breaks loose with his big 80-yard run. So, I mean, Richlands really didn't know if it was going to be a left punch, right punch. And I think that really did play a big factor in the fourth quarter.
And I think, and to Coach Mance's credit, after the game, he did say that he was outcoached, and you all did a great job. And, of course, you all outplayed him. All right, so I did get a few questions for the show. People can text us, can send us through instant messaging. First thing that was Marissa P. from Kingsport asked, guys, what did you eat or do to celebrate the win? What was some of the things? What did you eat? What y'all have to eat?
Richlands was nice enough to provide us with some pizza, and I think there's probably 50 boxes of pizza. And I think by the time we hit 460, I think we were down to about 4 boxes.
I think the celebration was mostly Pedialyte in the bed.
I don't know. We heard the buses when you all pulled out because we were still broadcasting. It sounded like there was some celebrations going on.
Let's see.
Maybe it was at the free pizza.
All right. I think this is for coaches. Beetle Queen 1999 sent a question. Will you get a tattoo if you win the district?
Oh, yeah.
Coach.
Uh-oh, here we go.
I know for a fact
Bookmark
right now
this
that
time.
my wife is listening in. I don't know if I want to say yes because I know my phone will get ready to blow up and she'll say you ain't getting no tattoo.
Well, it doesn't have to be visible. We don't need details, but I'm just saying.
But, the big thing is I have a beard, and I've told them I would shave this, if we win the district.
Okay.
And I haven't shaved since about 2012.
All right.
Completely. So,
all right, so
no
let's see.
tattoo, but we'll go beard.
Minute 19 of the first coach's show. All right, we'll get that, and we'll make sure we plaster that everywhere. Next one didn't come in with a name. How many wins is it going to take to make the playoffs this year? Taking a look at the region, do y'all have any idea, or what's your thoughts or goals or ideas?
I mean, the goal is always 10-0. It's week 1. How everything plays out. within the region, within the district, getting a big win at Richlands is definitely going to help us in power points, and get some rider points off of that because they're going to get some wins down the road, and they've got Radford and they've also got Bluefield, so they'll pick up some big points there, and we'll get some big rider points off of that. But definitely goal from here on out is week by week win it.
All right, guys, like I said, Big Blue Nation is listening. What would you like to say to them? Again, the last thing you want to say to them before Friday night? We'll go around the horn.
I definitely want to encourage everybody to come out. I played at Richlands. Don't hold that against me, but I can remember coming to Legion Field my freshman year, and take that back, my sophomore year and my senior year, and Legion was one of those places you dreaded coming to because you knew things were going to change snap count wise, and things were going to change because of the crowd noise and everything else like that. So let's get it back to the way Legion Field should be. Let's get it loud, and let's get it proud, and let's go get a win.
All right. DeAndre, your thoughts, and what would you like to tell Big Blue Nation?
I agree with Coach here. I definitely encourage everyone to come out, support us Friday. Big game. It'd be big if we got everybody out there. It's super loud enough to where we can't even hear.
Mr. Gibson, what's your thoughts? What would you like to tell Big Blue Nation?
Let's pack the house. I mean, tell your friends, get everybody out here, bring the cowbells. Let's make as much noise as we can.
It'd be awesome if our 2,000 was there and we had like 2 listeners.
Or we have 2,000 there and they're all streaming while they're in the stands.
Yeah.
That's the best of both worlds.
Our advertisers would like that. Mr. Blanton, what's your thoughts? Tell us, what would you like to tell Big Blue Nation?
Need everybody come out, get loud, and get proud, and
Come early,
take a win.
come early, stay late, be loud, and wear blue. All right, guys, thank you all. I know appreciate you coming out of practice, coming down here talking to us. Again, hopefully see you here next week. Good luck Friday night, and go Big Blue. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you. All right, so again, Landon Blanton, Kirk Gibson, DeAndre Mack, and the man, not the legend, because again we've got him, but Coach Daugherty's
I
here.
don't like this pressure.
The pressure's on. Appreciate you guys. We're going to take a quick break, come back, and get you through Northeast Tennessee, Southwest Virginia. You're listening to the home of Blue Devil Sports. This is Gate City Sports Radio.
If you listen or watch the news these days, where to invest your hard-earned money is a daunting task that leaves many investors nervous or unsure about what to do. The experienced financial planners at James River Advisors, though, take their time to learn about you, your needs, and will help you to navigate through these decisions and will give you peace of mind for the future. Your local office in Gate City is managed by Edwin Cox, and he is ready to help you with your decisions and believes in establishing long-lasting relationships with his clients based on trust. He is ready to help you with financial planning, investments, and much, much more. So give him a call today at 276-690-8014. Again, that's 276-690-8014. He's located at 122 East Jackson Street next to Dollar General in Gate City. James River Advisor, Inc. is a registered investment advisor. Information presented is for educational purposes only and not intended for the offer, solicitation, or sale or purchase of securities, investments, or investment strategies. Investments do involve risk, unless otherwise stated, is not guaranteed. Be sure to first consult with your qualified financial advisor or tax professional before implementing any strategy therein. Past performance is not indicative of future performances.
You are listening to the home of Blue Devil Sports. This is Gate City Sports Radio. Sports Radio.
If you or a loved one is being discharged from the hospital and in need of rehabilitation, then look no further than Nova Health and Rehab, a 4-star facility in Weber City, Virginia. They offer a wide variety of services, including skilled nursing, physical, occupational, speech therapies, and outpatient services as well. Tell your doctor or case manager at the hospital that you want to go to Nova Health and Rehab Center, where you will find a home-like environment during your stay. Please call 276-477-5640. Again, that's 276-477-5640. Nova Health and Rehab is a Sabre Healthcare Group facility.
And we are back here live from the campus drive-in on Kane Street in Gate City. Again, want to say thank you to Coach Daugherty, DeAndre Mack, Kirk Gibson, and Landon Blatton for spending some time with us. Before we go on any further, do want to say thank you to our advertising partners and sponsors, Premier Pharmacy, La Coretta of Weber City, Broadwater Trading Company, Farm Bureau Insurance of Scott County, Weber City Drug, Christina Kilgore Wiggs of Conservis Real Estate Group, James River Advisors, Jeff Eads for Scott County Sheriff, the Campus Drive-In, Delegate Terry Kilgore, Greg McMurray for Scott County Sheriff, M&P Repair, Maria Colabro for Scott County Supervisor, the Law Office of Jesse Walker McMurray, Nova Health and Rehab, Rex Carter for Washington County Sheriff, Elmcroft of Johnson City, and Josh Bowling for Scott County School Board. So, with all that said, great interviews. I thought the guys, again, very, very ecstatic from the win, but they know that it's a long season, and they've got to turn the page. Page number 2 has the Abingdon Falcons on it.
Well, Joe, they had every right to celebrate this week, I think, especially after what they've gone through the last couple of seasons. But I'd say tomorrow morning, celebration's over. Focus on what's next.
Yeah, after a good weekend, and of course, and I do want to say thank you to everybody that sent text and messages, wanting us to ask the coaches and players. We asked how they celebrated. Didn't realize the pizza that Richlands had provided for them.
I'm surprised they didn't take it back.
So, yeah.
That may have been left over since they didn't need it for the reception for the win, the 200 wins. They may have just said, well, take it.
Possibly so. All right. So, again, we'll talk a little bit more about them here in just a few minutes. But before they came in, we were going to talk about Southwest Virginia, Upper East Tennessee, what happened on Friday night and getting ready for this week. So, Chris, take us around Northeast Tennessee. What happened last Friday night?
Well, we'll start with the team closest to Gate City, the Dobyns-Bennett.
The
Dobyns-Bennett took Oak Ridge to the woodshed 41-6, and I honestly cannot remember that large of a margin of victory in the game. Zane Whitson, he's a junior. He ran for 2 touchdowns. He passed for another one. What really amazed me with this game, though, is Dobyns-Bennett scored on 6 of their first 7 possessions, and Oak Ridge had negative rushing yards in the first half.
Wow.
Running back Tyler Tesner for Dobyns-Bennett, he wound up with 96 yards on the night. It's a pretty impressive outing for DB, and they were kind of down last year as well, kind of following along with Gate City.
And talking about them, we talked about it on the previous show. They've got those linebackers go, sideline to sideline. They've really done a good job early in the season. Again, they corralled Tennessee High last week. They've got Oak Ridge. A little bit different story, I think, though, coming up this week.
Well,
in
I was going to say that they face a massive test. Of course, I thought Oak Ridge was a big test also, but they go to Bearden, which is always tough. That's a big rivalry game, and Oak Ridge goes to Campbell County, which, they're kind of up and down, kind of a roller coaster. You never know what you're going to get with them, so Oak Ridge is going to look to righten their ship. Next up, I wanted to mention perhaps the biggest upset of the night. Daniel Boone crushed Science Hill 62-34. And, Joe, that was Crockett's first win ever over Science Hill. They did it in impressive style.
Did it at home, and like you said, of course, we'll talk about our Premier Pharmacy Player of the Week, Cade Larkins, but yeah, they just absolutely just opened up. 27-point lead in the second quarter. The clock was running in the second half. Science Hill was used to going to Crockett and, being
Science Hill's used to having a continuous clock against Crockett, but the tables were turned this game. You were talking about Cade Larkins. He threw for 325 yards and 5 touchdowns against Science Hill.
Lit them up. I know that Stacy Carter was talking or mentioned and previous to this game that they were extremely young on that defensive front 7, and they exposed them. And, of course, Larkins hit 7 different receivers, running backs, tight end. He really used the complete arsenal, and, again, a big win for the Pioneers.
Well, besides being 0-2 this year with Science Hill, there was another stat I was reading about that really jumped out at me. Science Hill has lost their last 5 games against local rivals.
And they still got Boone on the docket and the
Dobyns-Bennett. Next week, things are not going to get any easier for Science Hill. They go to Hardin Valley, and ever since Hardin Valley was created, they've been a powerhouse in football.
Yep.
So Science Hill very likely could wind up 0-3 to start the season. Crockett,